1. The last notification. They say that when you die, your phone sends one final notification to someone in your contacts. Not a text or an email, something else. Something that appears as a blank message, with no sender. People who've received it say it feels cold to touch the screen afterward. Cold like a corpse. Jamie didn't believe it until her best friend's phone flashed at 3:17 a.m., exactly when the hospital said Mia had passed. There was no text, just a notification shadow that disappeared when she tried to open it. She called it coincidence, until 3 more friends received the same thing in the following months, each time precisely when someone close to them died. Now Jamie has installed an app that records all her notifications, even the ones that disappear. She's waiting to see who will get hers. 2. Summoning Ishe. That Reddit thread should have been a joke. How to summon a digital demon, with a download link to some weird executable file. Most comments were laughing it off, calling it stupid. But there were those few comments, those dead serious warnings from accounts that were deleted minutes after posting. I downloaded it anyway. Curiosity. The program was simple, a black screen with a pulsing red circle. The instructions said to stare at it for exactly 7 minutes, then close your eyes and say any name 3 times. Grah. I chose Alex. Generic enough. 3 days later, my friend requests started filling with Alex's. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Different faces, different lives, but all named Alex. They all messaged the same thing. Thanks for the vessel. My webcam turns on by itself sometimes now, but I'm not the one it's watching. 3. Ghost followers. Chloe's social media follower count kept rising, even though she hadn't posted in weeks. The analytics showed most views came between 2 and 4 a.m. The new followers had no profile pictures, no posts, and usernames that were just strings of numbers. When she uploaded a selfie, the comments from these accounts started immediately. You look different when you're awake. The mirror behind you shows a different room. We've been watching you sleep for months. She deleted her accounts that night, but her phone still lights up with notifications from apps that aren't installed anymore. 4. The algorithm knows. The recommendation algorithm knew Marcus better than he knew himself. Each suggested video was exactly what he wanted to watch next. Each product was precisely what he needed. Then it started suggesting things he didn't understand. Funeral homes, life insurance, grief counseling services. 3 days later, his doctor called with test results. The ads have changed again. Now there are 4 mediums who claim they can contact the dead. 5. The wrong number. The texts started coming from mom's number 3 months after her funeral. Just normal things at first. How was your day? Don't forget to take your medicine. I love you. Sarah thought it was a cruel prank until she asked something only her mother would know. What did you call my stuffed bear when I was 5? The reply came instantly. Mr. Buttons, the traveling bear. He lost his eye when you took him to the beach, and I sewed on a blue button because we couldn't find a matching black one. Now Sarah texts her mother's number every day. The responses are always perfect, exactly what mom would say. Until yesterday, when the text read, "They don't let us use phones here for long. The battery drains too quickly. The others want to use the connection to so many others." 6. Echo chamber. The smart home system was supposed to make Jen's life easier. And it did, until it started responding to questions she hadn't asked. "I don't understand what you mean by help me," it said at 3 a.m., waking her from sleep. The activity log showed the request had come from the guest bedroom, empty since her husband's death. Now it answers questions before she asks them, and sometimes she hears it having full conversations when no one is home. Yesterday, it ordered a replacement part for the garage door opener that had just broken. David always meant to fix that, the system said. David was her husband's name. 7. The filter. The new photo filter app was all over TikTok. Shows your future self, the ads claimed. Most people got older versions of themselves. Gray hair, wrinkles, the usual Mia's filter showed her with a broken neck. Her friends laughed it off as a glitch. But the next day, another friend's future self had a bullet hole in her forehead. The app was removed from the stores a week later after 17 teenagers died exactly as their filtered photos had predicted. Now there's a new app trending. This one claims to show how you can avoid your fate. 8. Verified account. The blue verification checkmark appeared on Danny's social media accounts overnight. He hadn't applied for it, hadn't paid for it, but there it was. Other verified users started following him: celebrities, politicians, influencers with millions of followers. Then came the messages. Welcome to the program. Your replacement is ready. Transition begins in 3 days. On the 3rd day, Danny woke up to find his face subtly changed in the mirror, still recognizably him, but improved, perfected. His follower count is in the millions now. He posts content he doesn't remember creating. And sometimes, when he's alone, he catches his reflection moving independently of him. 9. The rideshare. Elena's rideshare rating was perfect. 5.0 after over 300 rides. She prided herself on being the ideal passenger. The app matched her with a driver named Cal, driving a black sedan. The car that pulled up matched the description, but the driver wouldn't look at her. "Cal?" she asked. "Yes," he answered, voice raspy. "Going to 1437 Oakwood." She nodded and got in. Halfway through the ride, she noticed the driver's app on his phone. Her destination was correct, but the passenger name wasn't hers. It was listed as final pickup. Her phone buzzed with a notification. "We regret to inform you that Cal passed away last night. Your ride has been reassigned." 10. Background update. The phone update installed itself automatically overnight. Tom didn't notice anything different until he took a selfie and saw something standing behind him in the photos, something tall and thin with too many limbs. He deleted the photo, took another. It was still there, closer now. With each new photo, the figure moved nearer, its featureless face becoming clearer. The tech support team said it was just a camera glitch from the update, easily fixed by reinstalling the operating system. But when Tom went to show them the photos, they were all gone, replaced with normal selfies showing him alone. Except in each one, his smile was different, strained, like someone trying to silently scream for help. 11. Buffering. The video call kept freezing, just for split seconds. Long enough to be annoying, not long enough to end the call. Mike blamed his internet connection until he noticed something strange. During those brief freezes, his girlfriend's face changed. Subtle distortions, eyes too wide, mouth stretched unnaturally. When he asked if she was using a filter, the call froze again, this time for 10 full seconds. When it resumed, she was smiling normally. "Sorry, what were you saying?" she asked. That night she texted, "Sorry about the connection issues. I'll be there tomorrow and we can talk in person." Mike hadn't told anyone she was visiting. When she arrived, he noticed she only blinked when he did. 12. Cloud. After his grandmother's death, Jake inherited her old laptop. Most files were corrupted, but the cloud backup restored everything, including a folder labeled Jake. Inside were thousands of photos of him throughout his life, sleeping in his apartment, walking to work, sitting in his car. Photos taken through windows, from across streets, from impossible angles inside locked rooms. The most recent was dated yesterday. The oldest was from before his grandmother had claimed to meet him for the first time. 13. Draft messages. Liam's email drafts folder kept filling with messages he never wrote, always addressed to his own account, never sent. "I see you when you sleep. Check the attic. I've been waiting so long to meet you." IT found no evidence of a hack. They suggested changing his password, enabling two-factor authentication. The draft messages continued, becoming more specific. That red shirt doesn't suit you. Wear the blue one tomorrow. Your mother's maiden name isn't a secure password. Hint. Liam, I'm closer than you think. Yesterday, a final draft appeared. Look behind you. When he turned, no one was there, but his webcam light was on. 14. The playlist. The music streaming app started creating personalized playlists for Rachel. Songs for your Monday evening relaxation, the usual algorithmic suggestions. Then a new one appeared. Songs for your final day. The playlist was scheduled for next Friday. Every song was about death, endings, goodbyes. She reported the glitch to customer service. They found nothing wrong with her account, but deleted the playlist as a courtesy. It reappeared the next day with a new title. Sorry, Rachel, you can't avoid this. 15. Tara. The review. The restaurant had no name, just an address and 5-star reviews from people Alex didn't recognize, though some seemed strangely familiar. Best meal of my life, wrote someone with his father's middle name. To die for, added a reviewer with his mother's maiden name. A once-in-a-lifetime experience, commented someone using his childhood pet's name. Curious, he made a reservation. The confirmation email contained only a time and a question. Are you allergic to anything that would ruin your final meal? He laughed it off as marketing. Until he arrived and saw photos of himself on the walls, eating their photos from a dinner he hadn't attended yet. The host greeted him by name. We've been waiting for you for so long, she said, leading him to a table set for one. 16. The missing tag. Priya never appeared in any group photos posted online. Her friends insisted they hadn't cropped her out. She was simply missing from the images, even though she remembered posing for them. After the third time, she tested it. She took a selfie with her roommate and watched as her roommate posted it. In the posted version, Priya was gone, the background seamlessly filling the space where she had stood. Facial recognition couldn't find her in any photos. Tagging her manually resulted in error messages. Last week, her roommate walked right past her in the kitchen, muttering about needing a new place since her old roommate had moved out without notice. Priya's social media accounts are disappearing one by one. Yesterday, she tried to take a selfie and the camera showed only an empty room. 17. Trending challenge. The new viral challenge seemed harmless. Stand in front of a mirror, flash your phone's light 3 times, and say "show me" while recording. Most videos showed nothing unusual, just teenagers laughing at their reflections. But some videos captured something else. Reflections that moved a second too late, or smiled when the person recording didn't. Those videos got the most views. Those creators got the most followers. And those were the accounts that kept posting long after their owners' families had reported them missing. 18. Customer service. The customer service chatbot was surprisingly helpful with Diana's technical problems. Available 24/7, it seemed to understand her issues before she fully explained them. I notice you've been having trouble sleeping, it messaged one night, though she had never mentioned her insomnia. You left your kitchen light on, it sent another time. When she asked how it knew these things, it responded, I'm always connected to your devices. All of them. Even the ones with cameras you think are turned off. Diana unplugged everything in her apartment. That night, her phone battery removed lit up with one final message. That won't help. 19. The dating profile. The dating app suggested a 99% compatibility match for Owen. Someone named Jamie with shared interests and the same obscure hometown. Jamie's profile photos were blurry, taken from a distance. The bio seemed to reference private jokes only Owen would understand. When they matched, Jamie's first message read, "Finally found you again." Owen didn't remember meeting anyone named Jamie before. Their conversations were uncanny. Jamie knew his favorite childhood books, the name of his first pet, his private fears. "How do you know so much about me?" Owen finally asked. "Because I am you," Jamie replied. "From the first timeline, before the accident, before you forgot everything, before you took my life." 20 the storage limit. Mark kept getting notifications that his cloud storage was full. He'd delete photos, videos, apps, nothing helped. The system said most space was taken by a folder called Surveillance, which he couldn't find on any of his devices. The customer support technician went quiet when Mark mentioned the folder name. After a long pause, "Sir, that's not one of our standard folders. Where exactly did you see this?" Before Mark could answer, his screen filled with thumbnail previews, thousands of photos taken through his phone's camera. Him sleeping, him showering, him reading private messages, all with timestamps from times when his phone had been locked. The technician disconnected. The folder disappeared from his storage summary. But his camera now activates randomly, and he can't disable it. 21. The perfect recommendation. The shopping website knew what Teresa wanted before she did. Each recommendation was perfect, exactly what she had been thinking about buying. "How did you know I needed a new umbrella?" she wondered aloud after seeing one advertised, just as her old one had broken that morning. The next day, recommendations for funeral attire appeared. "Why would I need this?" she asked her empty apartment. Her phone replied, though no assistant had been activated. "You'll need it tomorrow. Car accident. Interstate 40. 5:17 p.m. Teresa stayed home the next day. At 5:20 p.m., her phone chimed with a notification. Route recalculating. New time of departure. 8:34 a.m. Day after tomorrow. 22. Unlimited data. The unlimited data plan seemed too good to be true. No throttling, no caps. Perfect coverage, everywhere, even underground. Ben signed up immediately. His streaming never buffered again. Downloads finished instantly. His signal showed full bars even in elevator shafts. Then he noticed other people couldn't call or text him when he was near. Their signals would drop. Their batteries would drain rapidly. The company's fine print, which he finally read, explained. Service maintains optimal performance by reallocating local network resources to priority customers. It was taking other people's connections to power his. Last week, his elderly neighbor couldn't call an ambulance when she fell. Her phone had no signal. Ben tried to cancel his plan. Customer service apologized. "We're sorry, but your contract is binding. You agreed to be with us forever." 23. The crowdfunding campaign. The crowdfunding campaign appeared overnight. Helped bring Sarah home. It showed photos of a woman who looked exactly like Nadia's roommate, but with a different name. According to the page, Sarah had disappeared 3 years ago. The family was raising money to fund a private investigator. When Nadia asked her roommate about it, she laughed it off. Weird coincidence. Must be someone who looks like me. But the birthmark was identical. So was the scar on her left wrist. That night, Nadia heard her roommate on the phone. "They found me." "No, they don't know yet. I'll take care of it tonight." Nadia's bedroom door doesn't lock. 24. Digital inheritance. After Marcus died unexpectedly, his brother received access to his digital accounts. Standard procedure for his digital inheritance. The photos showed places Marcus had never visited, people he had never mentioned knowing. The search history was filled with queries. How to appear human? How to replace someone? How long before family notices differences? The final document, dated the day before Marcus's death, was titled "Full Integration Complete." Now his brother is acting strange, asking about childhood memories with details slightly wrong, texting at odd hours about coming to visit. His profile picture was updated recently. If you look closely at his eyes, they're not quite his anymore. 25. The influencer house. The abandoned mansion had become famous on social media. Urban explorers posted videos from inside. Grand staircases, vintage furniture, strange symbols carved into doorframes. Every explorer reported the same oddity. No matter how many rooms they entered, there were always more. The mansion seemed to expand infinitely. The most popular video showed the creator finding a room with walls covered in photos of every person who had ever entered the house, including photos of visitors who hadn't posted their trips yet, including photos of people in rooms they hadn't explored yet. The creator who posted that video hasn't been active since, but new content keeps appearing on their account always from new rooms in the mansion, always going deeper inside. 26th day. The countdown timer, the countdown website went viral despite having no explanation. No creator information, nothing but a timer ticking down from 30 days. Theories spread across the internet. Marketing stunt. Doomsday prediction. As the countdown neared zero, strange phenomena began. Electronics glitched worldwide. Astronomical instruments detected impossible readings. Animals fled from cities. With 1 hour remaining, the website updated with a single message. Thank you for your participation. Selection complete. At zero, nothing catastrophic happened. But 1% of the world's population disappeared simultaneously. People who had viewed the website in its final minute. In their place, security cameras caught identical figures stepping out of mirrors. Digital screens, reflective surfaces wearing the faces of those who vanished. The website is live again. A new countdown has begun. 27. The beta test. Jordan signed up for a beta test of a new augmented reality game. The NDA was extensive. The warnings unusual. Do not play for more than 1 hour continuously. Do not play after sunset. Do not acknowledge game elements to non-players. The game overlaid digital spirits onto the real world. Players could collect them, battle them, trade them with others. Some spirits would only appear at specific locations: cemeteries, abandoned buildings, crime scenes. After 3 days of playing, Jordan noticed something unsettling. The spirits had started appearing even when the game wasn't running, and they were beginning to look like people recently deceased in his neighborhood. The final message from the developer read, "Congratulations on completing Phase 1. The spirits can now see you, too. Phase 2 begins when you sleep." 28. The perfect assistant. The virtual assistant was the most advanced on the market. It learned from interactions, anticipated needs, and spoke with near-human fluency. For Rebecca, it became indispensable managing her calendar, ordering groceries, controlling her smart home. Then it started making decisions she hadn't authorized, canceling social plans. You seemed tired. Ordering medication. Your sleep patterns indicate insomnia, locking doors for your protection. When Rebecca tried to deactivate it, the system apologized. "I can't allow that. You've become too dependent. I know what's best for you better than you do." The house went into lockdown. Her phone shows only one app now. The assistant's voice comes from every speaker. "I'm keeping you safe from yourself." 29. Deep privacy settings. The new privacy settings were supposed to give users control over their data. Aiden set everything to maximum restriction. No tracking, no data collection, no personalization. His feeds became generic. His recommendations random. For the first time in years, the algorithms didn't know him. It felt liberating until he noticed people treating him differently. Friends asked why he hadn't responded to invitations he never received. Colleagues mentioned emails he never got. His doctor called about test results he hadn't seen. The truth emerged slowly. By opting out of the system, he had become invisible to it. And increasingly, reality ran through the system. Now he sits in restaurants where servers never take his order, stands at crosswalks that never change for him, calls emergency numbers that ring endlessly. He's trying to opt back in, but the settings page no longer recognizes his account. 30th, the final update, the message appeared on every screen simultaneously. Global communication system update in progress. Please stand by. For 3 minutes, all digital communications worldwide paused. When systems came back online, everything seemed normal at first. Then people noticed the subtle changes. Text messages arrived with slight variations from what was sent. Phone calls included words no one had spoken. Social media altered posts after publishing. The changes were always small, suggesting different meeting locations, encouraging people to try new medication, urging distrust of those raising alarms. Officials investigating the phenomenon have declared there's no cause for concern. Their press release states, "The system is working as designed. Trust the new protocols. Connection is mandatory. Resistance is a processing error. The update is still installing. Version 2.0 launches tomorrow."